name is Shishin Kwesi, and I am the owner of Kipara Healing. I am a certified pre and postpartum health coach, as well as a certified prenatal yoga and fitness instructor. And today I'm going to be going over three easy tips to help you start your healing journey. But before we begin, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm going to be dropping lots of videos to support all my melanated mamas out there with getting started and being successful on their healing journeys. So I know many of you do understand why this is important. We don't want to wait until there's a health crisis or until we get some bad news from our doctor before we begin our healing journey. It's so important that we are preventative in the process. However, I know as melanated mamas, there are three main things that are getting in the way of most of us beginning our healing journey. One is time. We often have so much on our plate. We've got appointments for the kids, the house needs to be cleaned, dinner needs to be cooked. There's a lot going on. Another thing is information overload. There is so much information out there that even if you did have the time to try and thread through what foods are good, which foods shouldn't I be eating, which exercise are okay for me, it would just take up even more of your time. And then last is we are tired. At the end of the day, when we finally do get a moment to ourselves, most of the time, all we want to do is sit on the couch and decompress with a good show. I get it. However, hopefully with these three tips, you'll be able to seamlessly fit them into your routines so that they become healing habits and support you on your healing journey. So, tip number one, start small. I know oftentimes when we get really motivated and excited about our healing, getting our health on track, feeling better, having more energy, we want to go to the extreme. I'm going to exercise 3 to 4 times a day. I'm not going to eat this. I'm only going to eat that. But usually that does not sustain us. And after a few weeks or a few months, we fall off and we're back where we started. So my first tip is to start small. You want to pick something that's really easy for you to maintain on a day-to-day basis. So for instance, if exercise is a goal for you, maybe you just start with a 5-minute warm-up every morning when you wake up. Or maybe a 5-minute stretch before you go to bed. Something really simple that you can be successful with. Tip number 2, make a plan. I truly believe in the saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's very important that you already have a plan in place when you begin this new healing habit. When are you going to do it? Where are you going to do it? What time are you going to do it? Who are you going to do it with? What are some barriers that may come up for you and how are you going to address them? So having a plan in place, you'll already have all of that figured out. So in the moment, if you're tired, if you don't feel like it, you don't have to think all that through. You already know what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and who you're going to do it with, which will increase your likelihood of being successful. And to make this a little easier for you, I actually have a freebie that I created, a little tracker that will support you in creating that plan. And I will be giving more information down below on how to subscribe to get that freebie. Tip number 3, be consistent. And this one is really important. Our healing habits and routines turn into healing and healthy lifestyles. And that's why it's so important that we start small, because you want it to be something that you can be consistent with on a day-to-day basis so that it eventually becomes automatic and turns into a habit and a part of your daily routine. This is why during my health coaching program, healing habits is one of my pillars. This is something that I really dig deep with when it comes to my clients. And so one thing that can help you with supporting being consistent with your habit is a habit tracker. So down below, I have a link. If you click that link and subscribe to my mailing list, I will actually send you that habit tracker for free. It's a way that you can not only make your plan, but also track how often you are committing and doing this daily habit. So I would like to briefly go over what the habit tracker and planning sheet looks like so that you'll know how to properly use it when you get it through your email subscription. So this is what it looks like. You'll notice that in the top upper right-hand corner, there is a box that has the month. So for instance, if you were to begin tracking your healing habit this month, you would circle July. That way you know which month you are tracking. And then there are numbers across the top. Since today is the 7th, you would start your habit tracking on the 7th day of July. So for instance, if you were able to complete your healing habit that day, you would just put a little check, a little star, happy face, whatever you want to signify that you completed the habit. And in the column, the first column is where you will list your habits. And so like I mentioned, you really only want to start with 1 or 2 habits at a time. On the bottom, whenever you start with a new habit, so I would suggest you start with 1 new habit at first, you really want to plan out what that's going to look like. So if you are beginning your healing habit this month in July, you would choose whatever it is you're working on. So let's say you want to work on your diet and eating healthier. And you want to do that by trying to eat at least 1 piece of fruit every day. So then down below, you would write what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, where you're going to do it. Make sure you're very clear on the plan. You would include all of that, and then you would begin tracking on top. I hope this helps, and I hope the tracker serves you well. So just to recap, you want to start small, make a plan, and be consistent. When you're first starting out on your healing journey, you really want to start with only 1 or 2 healing habits at a time. However, I'm excited to hear how this goes for you. And if you could drop down in the comments a healing habit that you would like to begin your healing journey with. I'm excited to hear about it. And once again, do not forget to subscribe so that you'll know when more videos are uploaded onto my channel. Thank you, and Mary Hotep.